What's up, Buck Doug with D&E in the Garage. Today in Automotive News with D&E for the month of October 2009. We got some weird stuff going on. GM's a little bit screwed. Tesla has found a new way to cause accidents. Ford is back in the high displacement motor game. Honda's making video games. BMW is recalling Toyotas. It's just a lot of weird stuff. And then at the end of the video, if there's time and if I'm feeling brave, I will risk monetization by discussing Trump's current war with the state of California over vehicle emissions regulations. Whoo, buddy, let's get into it. All right, so first let's talk about something that's not necessarily news. It's just fresh steam and speculation. Somebody saw a picture of a weird looking WK2 that's going to be the 4th generation Jeep Grand Cherokee that is set to end production next year. 2020 should be the last model year. But somebody saw a weird looking picture of a Grand Cherokee and they said, I wonder if they're building the Grand Cherokee Demon. Now, I have nothing to support this outside of what some guys saw. I mean, I saw the picture. It's definitely an aggressive looking grille. We all know about the Trackhawk that has the Hellcat motor in it. But this would have the Demon motor, which is basically a Hellcat motor with a larger supercharger. I think there are some other differences as well. I think this would be cool if 2020 really is the last model year for the WK2, which has been a very successful Grand Cherokee brand. It would be really interesting to send it off right. As you know, here on D&E, we love overpowered SUVs, a la your Typhoons, a la the 5.9ZJ and the Hemi Grand Cherokee. So sending a Demon Grand Cherokee out there into the world. I think the headline I read said the Grand Cherokee's possessed by a demon, something like that. It's pretty cool. So let's move on. That was our Jeep speculation for the day. On to Fiat Chrysler Automotive News. Fiat Chrysler booked record numbers of new car sales in the third quarter of 2019. In other news, they're getting hit with a $40 million fine for falsifying sales records. So basically, I don't know, disregard the first thing I said. The only two things I could find for Fiat Chrysler News for this month were those two things. I thought it was pretty funny. The incident occurred between 2012 and 2016. They allegedly, I don't know if it is allegedly because they're getting hit with the fine. They falsified new car sales records, making it look as though they sold more new cars than they actually did. That's fraud, and it's highly frowned upon. Not at all what you want, not at all what a successful car company should be doing. So Fiat Chrysler, shape up, buddy. Moving on to GM. GM is currently entering week 3 or in week 3 of a United Auto Workers strike. The bunch of, I think about 50,000 US-based auto workers for GM are on strike. They want things like healthcare. I think healthcare is a keystone issue for this strike. GM has made a proposal, but it was not adequate for the workers to come back. So workers are currently on strike pay from the UAW. I'd love to hear from any of you who are auto workers, especially if you're on strike right now. Just let me know what's going on there, man. I know this has actually disrupted production at plants outside of the United States. GM had to temporarily lay off workers in Mexico and in Canada, and the reason is this: the plants in the United States that are striking, they were building the parts, so the assembly line doesn't have anything to put in the new vehicles. So GM is taking a hit. I read one estimate that says they've probably already taken $1 billion hit. When you count in just lost productivity, lost sales, it doesn't help that GM sales were down anyway. Their new trucks are not selling well, probably because they're ugly as friggin' sin. And GM's just kind of in trouble. Not like going under trouble, but like they're having a hell of a day of it. A hell of a time of it, and I hope things work out for them, and I hope they are able to give the auto workers everything they deserve. I want to see more cars made in the United States. I want to see more American hands building those cars, and I want to see those American hands being treated right. So let's take care of that. Let's do what we got to do. Shape up or ship out, Buck. Moving on to Ford. It's rare that I have anything nice to say about Ford, especially since they removed the V8 from their F-150. You go into the dealer, you get you an F-150, it's going to come with a turbo V6. In my opinion, that's not how American trucks should be made. Though I do know a lot of people with the F-150, and they say it's got plenty of power with your turbo spinny boys. Whatever, man. I like big displacement, American-made V8 engines. That's just me. Let me know down in there in the squawk boxes if you agree. I'll bet you do. That's why this is cool. 2020 7.3 liter gasser coming from Ford. It's going to go in their F-250 and up trucks. It's going to be about 430 horsepower, 475 foot-pounds of the torques, and it's going to be just built for longevity. Larger main bearings, piston cooling jets. It's just going to be a big, brutish motor meant to do work, and that is what I love, and that is how I think American trucks should be made. Just big, oversized, over-engineered, maybe not over-engineered, that's a German thing, but oversized, overpowered, and just built to do some work. Now, of course, Ford has previously made a 7.3, the 90s IDI diesel. I love those motors, man. Those things are friggin' bulletproof. Next to the 12-valve, best diesel ever made. We can fight that out in the comments. See me down there. I wish that they made a 7.3 diesel again, but they got the 6.7 diesel, which I guess is fine. 7.3 gasser, pretty wild. And just the reason I'm mentioning it, not only do I love the idea of just an unnecessarily large gasser V8, but it's so out of character for Ford right now to do this. Their mantra or motto or goal the past 10 plus years has been, let's find a way to do it with a smaller engine with a turbo. So I was worried that they were going to start doing away with bigger engines like that, but nope. 7.3 liter gasser. Hey Ford, if you're listening, can you just put like one in a Mustang? Just put one in a Mustang. Find a way to make it fit. Just like put one in a Mustang, take a video of it, send it to me. I know you're not going to, but that's why people love Dodge so much. People who do love Dodge, because they're like, yeah, screw it, let's put a 6.4 supercharger in it. What do you mean gas is expensive and the country is about to melt or the world's about to melt? Screw it, I don't care. 6.4 supercharger in, strap it to a skateboard and let's go. All right, moving on. BMW is recalling Toyota Supras, which is a weird headline to read. That one grabbed me. I don't usually do Toyota or BMW news, but it turns out the new Supra, as we all know, has a BMW engine in it. It turns out their BMW is actually way more involved in the manufacturing of the new Supra than I knew, to the point where it came out that 7. I don't know how they know it's only 7. That's the weirdest, most randomly small sample size for a recall, but 7 Supras may have left the factory with insufficient welds on their seatbelt loops. So that means you're in your new Supra and you hit the brakes real hard and you go flying through the windshield. That's no good. Now, these things were manufactured in Austria, I guess by BMW, and that's why it's BMW's problem to issue the recall, which is pretty wild. To my knowledge, that's never happened before. A car getting recalled by another company. I mean, you see plenty of collaborations. Now, actually, I don't know if that's true. So, like, let's look at the BRZ, the Subaru BRZ, and the Toyota. I don't remember what the Toyota one's called, but they're the same car. One's labeled as a Subaru, one's labeled as a Toyota. When they get recalled, they go to their individual spot. If you have the Subaru version, you go to Subaru. So this is very interesting. Also, it is absolutely infuriating the Toyota Supra community. They were super butthurt when they found out that the new Supra was going to have a BMW engine in it, and now the fact that it gets a recall and BMW had to make the recall, just the joke since this thing was released was, oh, the new Supra's basically just a Beamer, that's why I don't want her. And you get it, man. The joke writes itself. Whatever. It's funny, and also apparently. So let's run this through. That seatbelt loop is welded to the body. So if they were going to fix that, they have to take seats and stuff out, grind that down, then presumably repaint the whole car. So if you're one of the 7 Supra owners whose vehicle is affected, they're just going to give you a new Supra. So that's pretty awesome. You've probably put 10-something thousand miles on it. Now you're just going to get a new one. Cool, man. So I saw the Supra at the New York International Auto Show. Not teabag, I can tell you that. All right, another weird one. Honda's making video games now, and they teamed up with Reddit to do it. That's such a weird sentence. Honda is going to be at the Twitch convention, and I guess to promote that, they designed a game and launched it on Reddit, which I don't... Okay, whatever. The game is called Honda Circuit. It's a retro-styled racing game. I'm not totally Reddit literate, so I didn't have the opportunity to find the game, but I think now that I'm thinking about it, I can't put this out in the world without trying it and letting you know what I thought of it. So there will be some text somewhere on the screen letting you know what Honda Circuit's like. I will also leave a link down in the doobly-doo so that you guys can go and find the game yourselves if you want to play Honda Circuit. Super weird news, man. Honda's making video games. BMW's recalling Toyotas. Ford's making large displacement gassers again. The other two pieces are pretty standard. GM and FCA screwing themselves. That's pretty much par for the course these days. Tesla has a new feature called Smart Summon. So basically, if you're within 200 feet of your Tesla, and you're only allowed to use this if you're not on a road. And I don't mean off-road like we're off-road, I mean off-road like a parking lot. So if you're off-road, a parking lot, if you're within 200 feet of your vehicle, if you can see your vehicle, you can open your app, your Tesla app, and ask the car to come to you. Pretty cool, super futuristic. Obviously, a first step into Tesla's ultimate goal of 100% autonomization? Anyway, towards Tesla's goal of making sure that I can't do this anymore. The only issue is a lot of issues. There's already been a number of accidents. Also, it may not be able to tell the difference between grass and pavement, so you may have that issue. I don't see how this was a necessary thing to do. Like, why do you need this? The argument is like, well, if it's raining and you forgot your umbrella, a car comes to you like a little puppy dog. Except it may hit another car, a person, and run over some grass while it's getting to you. I have learned to appreciate Tesla. When they first came out, I hated them. I love Elon Musk as a innovator. I think he's the last true American business figure, you know? He's screw it, I want to go to space. Let's go to space. You know what I mean? He's crazy, man. And it's just, screw the government. I'm gonna do it with my own money. This is what I want to do. Let's build a submarine. Let's get some kids out of a mine. Let's send a car to space. Hey, you guys want to send a car to space today? We haven't done anything cool in a while. Hey, you guys, I forgot my umbrella. Somebody program the car to just come to me, you know? He's a cool guy. He's a super cool guy. But I just like, why do we need all this technology? Sometimes I feel like it's technology for the sake of technology. It's progress for the sake of progress. I get it. Maybe I do get it, maybe I don't get it. I don't know. But I think it's hilarious. There have been a bunch of accidents, a bunch of near misses. The car runs over grass. It may have trouble identifying pedestrians, which sounds like a pretty huge problem. When they released it, they basically released it with the caveat like, hey man, here's this awesome new feature, but if anything goes wrong, it's 100% your fault. So you have to be paying attention. You have to assess the situation. Whatever. All right, last thing we're going to talk about. How's that old joke goes? Known to the state of cancer to cause California. Of course, referring to the fact that California has its own set of regulations for most things. You'll be reading the back of a box and be like, this is totally safe, except in California where it's known to cause cancer. And you're like, what in the world does that even mean? And of course, it also extends to air quality emissions rules, right? California emission rules are crazy tight compared to the rest of the country. It's actually the reason we didn't have an 83 Corvette. The new Corvette was ready for 1983. At the last second, California said, no, we need to change our emission rules, make them much tighter. And Chevy was like, well, we can't change it now. So there were something like 25 83 Corvettes that had already been built, and they had to just scrap all of them because they weren't going to meet California emission laws. Super huge bummer. If you've ever been online looking for mufflers or other emissions components or other performance parts, really, it'd be like, yeah man, we can sell this to you free shipping, no problem, unless you live in California, because then it's going to destroy the environment. Trump decided, hey, you know what, that's not right, can't do that, and so he and the EPA revoked California's rights to have their own set of restrictions. His reasoning is that it makes it harder and more it makes it harder to get new cars made, and it makes it more expensive. He wants to drop the price of vehicles, inflating the economy, more jobs. That's his motivation for it. A lot of people are speculating that he's really just trying to punish California. I personally think California deserves to be punished, not the people. I know a lot of you are from California, and you all like sink your head and be like, I know, man, I know. But your government, man, is wild. California is just, they need to be slapped. California needs, as a state, not as a populace, California needs to be slapped. Stop that. Stop. Now, I should tell you at this point, there are two Dougs. Me, Doug. There's Automotive Doug that thinks this is just fine and dandy, man. Honestly, screw California. For years, you hear about all this stupid crap that you can't do over there. Now they're even trying to make, I think there's some counties in San Diego where it's illegal to work on your vehicle in your driveway. Screw you, California. You silly piece of... but then there's another Doug, there's political Doug, that would go on an entire rant about states' rights and overreach of federal government. That Doug doesn't exist on this channel because Automotive Doug likes this channel to stay monetized, frankly. That really does it for the news today. That's what we have for October. Super weird stuff going on in automotive news. Like every single headline I read, I passed. I was like, wait, what? That doesn't even make sense, you know? Giant Ford Motors and BMW recalling Toyotas. Let me know what you guys think about the news. Let me know. This segment was a little more rapid fire than previous ones. Usually I try to pick 3 stories and just drone on and on about it. And I rewatched a couple of the old news segments and I made myself bored. So I tried to go a little more rapid fire, but we all know I love the sound of my own voice and it's very difficult for me to not talk too much. So I'm doing it now. I'm doing it right now and I can't even stop myself. Right this moment I'm talking too much and I can't stop myself. I think I might have a disease. You guys let me know down there in the squawk boxes what you think about the news, what you think about the rapid fire segment, and let me know what you think. Let me know what you think is better, 7.3 IDI or 5.9 12 valve. My vote's for 12 valve. All right, so if you like the video, please like the video, sub the channel, consider checking us out on Etsy, Patreon, and Teespring. It helps us make more nonsense videos like this. Actually, it helps us make more nonsense videos like the project videos. This didn't cost me anything to make. It's just me screaming at a camera. But the other ones, they cost money, and I don't have any of that. So if you want to support the channel to see more of our junk, I suggest you do that. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.